Hello, everyone. My name is Ellie Price, and I am a health and wellness coach with Root Cause Wellness. And my business is really on a mission to help individuals that are suffering with things such as thyroid related issues, autoimmune conditions, or symptoms that are just really affecting the quality of lives of individuals. And what we do, we work together to identify and get to the root cause of these symptoms or diseases that you're experiencing. And once we do that, we envision how we can experience a more vibrant, fulfilling life that felt so far away from possibility at one point. And through that, we dive a lot into nutrition, lifestyle, every area of your life possible. And today I wanted to talk about something that is near and dear to me for the last few years after my own journey of trying to solve and get to the root of my thyroid autoimmune condition. And this is gluten. So for those of you who don't know, gluten is a compound of many proteins, and it's found in grains that come out through foods such as cereals, pasta, bread, pastries, beers, etc. And the issue with these proteins, gluten, is that it releases a chemical called zonulin. And zonulin triggers something in our intestines called tight junctions that keep the food from entering our bloodstream to open up. Once these open up, it allows for toxins, undigested food, and other microbes to enter the bloodstream. And once these toxins and undigested food enter the bloodstream, our immune system automatically triggers an attack on these foreign invaders that are now perceived in the body. And once this happens, the attack also destroys the villi that are in our intestinal walls, which are little finger-like substances that are responsible for absorbing nutrients in our food and keeping our food from just passing through. It's taking what it needs to from it. And when these are damaged, it can lead to malnutrition. And the symptoms of malnutrition include things like unexplained fatigue, dry hair, hair loss, hair falling out, your muscles are weak, you work out, you're just not strong enough, constipation, mood changes because your body's so irritable because it's just trying to survive. It's looking for the nutrients it needs to stay alive. And when we have this, it can be very confusing, and these symptoms are very mild all the way up to extreme, where if you even eat a little gluten, for individuals with celiac disease, they may be out for weeks ill. And so it's definitely a spectrum. And one way to know if you have a gluten sensitivity is to go based on signs. Some of the signs include abdominal pain. You may have bloating, constipation, or the opposite, diarrhea. You may have headaches, brain fog, joint pain. You may have itchy skin or little rashes, little hive spots, unexplained fatigue again, and so lots of mood issues, anemia. So these symptoms are not mild by any means, and they're very common when individuals come in or when I meet with clients who are dealing with symptoms. These symptoms are right along with that. So we definitely identify this. And there are a few other ways to identify if gluten is an issue for you. So based on symptoms is one. We have blood tests available. So if you work with me, if you're interested, we can do a food sensitivity test where they send it to your house. You do a little prick of blood and you send it in, and it's going to come back and it may tell you some of your intolerances. And the importance of knowing these intolerances is so we can avoid these foods that are triggering these attacks in our body, causing us to experience symptoms that are definitely interfering with our everyday life. And another way, a free way to test, is to completely eliminate for a period of time. Most of my clients and for myself, I started with about a 3-week period where there's none. We don't do any. No gluten at all. We use substitutes, and then we reintroduce and we pay attention to our symptoms. We do a symptom tracker before we stop gluten, and then after we haven't eaten it for a while. And then we eat gluten, we introduce it, and then we wait to see if there are symptoms or not. And a lot of times, if you have a sensitivity, you're going to notice it right then. So a story from me was I have not eaten gluten for almost 2 years now, and I recently went to Colombia for a few weeks, and it was beautiful. It was amazing. I was like, let's give it a try. I want a piece of pizza. I've been craving pizza. Could not find gluten-free pizza anywhere in the whole country, I swear. And I decided to just go for it. Let's see, one slice pizza is not going to hurt. And then I just got itchy, random areas, maybe here and then maybe on my arm down here. And didn't correlate it, just ignored it. And I said, well, it is what it is. The next day, I decided to eat a pastry because they look delicious. And I already eat pizza, so let's give it a shot. And then, once again, I was itchy and just hives, like little bumps in random little areas. And I realized, I put 2 and 2 together that, okay, nope, I now know my body's sensitive to gluten, and I'd had these issues before where I was itchy and I always blamed sugar. Sugar is making me itchy, but now I know that it is actually gluten. So my own story cutting out gluten, I was able to reverse my thyroid antibodies, which is the marker that it shows if we still have an attack on that area. It's a good indicator on where our body is, where our immune system is with the attack. When they're high, body's not sure what to do. It's in fight or flight. It's got that attack happening. When they're lower, our body's calmed down, our symptoms have likely improved, and that was the case for me after removing gluten. So gluten has some controversy behind it. It doesn't have a whole lot of research, but it's available, and there are lots of people who swear by it with their own stories, which is enough for me to know that, in my own experience, to know that there's some truth to it. And the studies that we do have are very promising. I will say that it's not all gung-ho perfect going gluten-free. There are some vitamins and nutrients that we do get from grains, different grains. And so when we go on a gluten-free diet, I follow my patients very closely. We do routine nutrient deficiency checking to make sure we're good. And if there's anything off, there's supplements. So we know what vitamins to look for because we know what vitamins these grains give us. So we can stay in check with that. And I don't want to discourage people, because if you're like me, eating is one of your favorite things in the day, and it doesn't mean you don't get to eat the things that you love. So there are substitutes out here, and when you work with me, we identify different substitutes. I'll go to the store with you. I'll send you links to different substitutes. I'll provide you that information. Over the 2 years of not eating gluten, I have tried, I would say, thousands of dollars of products that weren't tasty, so you don't have to. So I will help you identify what things are good, and we don't eliminate, we crowd out, or we replace. So if you resonated with any of this as far as the symptoms go, or want to just chat about maybe some symptoms you're having, feel free to reach out. I offer a free consultation where we just chat about what's going on and what I can do for you and what you've already had done. And it's just an information session to get to know one another and hopefully get to an agreement of how we can go about reaching your goals. I appreciate you watching this video, and I hope it gave you some thinking to do, something to think on, and maybe look into. So once again, thanks, and talk to you soon. Take care.